But you're so supreme.
With the release of MGS Delta, I want to ask you about your involvement with MGS3, creating the tune, but also creating the lyrics as well. How did you come up with this theme song, Snake Eater?
Norihiko Hibino, composer for Metal Gear Solid Series 2 and 3.
Mr. Kojima, he started from the very detailed script. He mentioned a lot about James Bond, looking for the kind of taste, the overall the game. Rika Muranaka created some demo. We did some trial, but we didn't work out well. Mr. Kojima was not really happy with it at the time. And I just created myself as an example of the song it should be.
How did you transition into the video game industry to become a composer working with Konami?
Before PlayStation 2, there were really not many persons who knows orchestration, live music, and computer-based music production. Konami was looking for composers who can do both.
And what about the lyrics? How did those get about?
I put some words intentionally so that they kind of feel what the game's like.
Potentially, you could have been the one who created the Snake Eater word combo. Hibino-san, it's such an honor and a privilege to have you on the show. Thank you so much for finding the time and speaking with me today. I'm very, very excited to chat with you. As a longtime fan of the Metal Gear Solid series and of your music, really interested to talk about you, your story, and your work. But obviously, the first order of business is, could you take us back to the beginning? How did you fall in love with music, and what drew you towards that career for your life?
Oh, okay. I started my music career as a pianist when I was at the age of 4.
Wow.
And I was not really serious about playing the piano, not really a good pianist. And I quit when I was 12. And then I shifted to saxophone, and I keep playing after that. But I have never thought that I would pick up my career as a musician until, um, let's see, uh, I I became 22 when I started to play at a lot of clubs, jazz clubs, as a saxophone player. I never thought like I'm talented enough to play in front of big audiences.
That's interesting.
I was quite a shy guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard in a few interviews that you were talking about the fact that you were shy, and in a way, music was kind of your language, so to speak, your way out, where you felt safe. Could you dive a little deeper into that, and how did you realize the fact that music really made you feel safe, let's say, and was your way of expressing yourself?
Mm. Yeah. First of all, maybe the verbal language. It's not really my voice. I'm kind of think and then talk. Then I don't really, go into the depth of my heart when
Yeah.
I'm speaking. But
Hmm.
if it's music, it's just way beyond that. It just flow out like my soul.
Right.
And
Right.
it's very easy for me to express myself. Mm. And the funny thing is, of course, I'm not quite fluent in English, but the English is much easier for me to express my feelings because it's more unique sound in English, where English itself. But in Japanese, it's only a 5 sounds. A, I,
Hmm.
U, E, that's all. So the English is
Interesting.
much easier for me to express in terms of sound.
That's interesting. But it definitely shows. I mean, when I looked at your performances, and especially when you are playing the saxophone,
Yeah.
even your body language, I can really see that you're enjoying that specific moment. And I've actually, I, I believe maybe a few months ago, you went live on Instagram,
Oh
and
yeah.
you were doing a small concert. And I
Uh,
thought, okay, I'll take a look. But I was so captivated that I actually stayed for the whole performance. And I think it was maybe probably around I don't remember, but 30 minutes to an hour maybe or something
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
And I was so captivated by the performance, and just through the screen, through my phone screen,
yeah.
it was such a wonderful experience. But could you tell me what drove you towards the saxophone? It's truly a very interesting instrument. Again, I'm not musical or musically literate in any way, but I just would like to know what drew you towards that
Oh, okay.
instrument.
Um, it's more close to my voice. Uh, Piano is just a piano, and everywhere you go and you see piano and you play the piano that is already there, right? In other words, you cannot carry the piano.
I see
You
what you're
go
saying.
like so the sound itself is from piano and not from me. But the saxophone is something I can carry and bring it anywhere and play it with my instruments. That really becomes my own voice. So that is the main thing. And I was thinking like if I could play trumpet or saxophone, but the shape of the instruments, and I really loved it. So
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
the reason I picked the saxophone.
Yeah, it's truly a unique instrument, and a very unique sound.
Oh,
And well, we're gonna probably talk about it later, but the Prescription for Sleep albums that you're creating together with Jayson, those are
oh,
so great. Those are
oh,
so
thank you.
great. And you know, when you hear the saxophone there, your performances and the piano,
Oh,
I think they fit so well. We're gonna get to those just in a moment. But I heard you talk about one of the inspirations that you had for looking into music and perhaps looking into the saxophone was the jazz scene from the 50s and 60s.
mm.
Um, Again, not well versed in the history of jazz, but I would like to know if you could perhaps dive a little deeper as to what was so special about jazz in that period and why did it appeal to you so much.
Oh, okay. Um, well, like in much older days, like in the 30s and 40s, it's more like a big band, and the saxophone player is just one of the members, right? So they are more likely to play the same lines at the same time with the same beat. But after the 50s, like after bebop, uh, they try to break the uh, this customs that they used to play, right?
Interesting.
And they try to come out something unique from deep inside of the players, and I could feel the spirit that they want to create something new, and those areas not much electric instruments involved. So it's really they only have to rely on themselves, and they have to practice a lot because they cannot overdub. So, so
Oh
the
my
music
God.
is really live. But after the 70s, it's more and more, newer instrument. I mean, more electric instruments is available, and more sound is like natural, and the later, like in the 90s, they can overdub. That really makes the spirits. If you
Interesting.
can and if you know that you can overdub your performance, then the way you think about making music is much more different. You
Hmm.
create some elements, and then you create the the best just that you think.
Right.
But like even if it's in the 50s and 60s, there's no way to think like that. You do it and that's it. That's
Oh my
yourself.
God.
So I really love that kind of passion.
My
Mm,
goodness. Yeah, I would imagine. So that's a completely different approach, obviously. So what you're saying in the 50s and 60s, it truly was live. It truly was in the moment. It
exactly.
truly was, what comes out of your heart and out of your soul, right? So it's all
Right.
an improvisational, harmonious
Mm.
uh, performance. Wow. I mean, I mean, obviously you said it changed
Mm.
uh, to this day, but are there still bands perhaps or clubs where jazz is still the same as it was in the 50s, where it is live
Oh yeah,
and yeah,
I know a lot of players. They really put their heart in the music and they try to do it. I know a lot of players doing that. But the thing is, uh, in these days, especially like now, um, people are trying to catch audience's eyes or catch their
right.
ears. right?
Right.
And music it becomes shorter and shorter, and
Yeah.
and the more up tempo and the more energy, so that they can capture more. It's like in the video games, you know,
Yeah.
the climax comes really fast, and uh, it's almost like a battle of how much you can give the stimulation to the audience.
Yeah.
And even if it becomes creative, then sometimes it goes to the direction that it's not like uh, what should I say, like a human nature, you know.
Right.
In the 50s and 60s, there is no path in that jazz area. So what you did is just become, making a history at the time, right? And what you do is the most, newest things that you're making, in that time area.
Right.
So yeah, and they have more and more time. There are no cell phone and no
Yeah.
other many games.
Yeah.
So I can really feel the players practice a lot and a lot and much more time, for practice than the players right now. So the mistake is much, much, fewer, and the spirit is much, much strong. And that's something, I like more and those, 50s and 60s jazz music.
Right. Right. That totally makes sense to me. Um I understand the those times, and looking at today's day and age, as you said, the comparison, right? The difference is drastic. And I think when we do dive in and we, like you just have, dissect, some of the differences in terms of music back then and now, you're absolutely correct in saying that the attention span is a big, let's say, reason for how things have changed. Do you or have you practiced live jazz performances?
Oh yeah, a lot.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Oh, that's amazing.
Sometimes I upload on YouTube. I have my own channel. It's called Heaven on Earth. It's the name of the
Yes.
my YouTube channel,
Heaven
and
on earth.
a lot
Okay.
of my live performance there.
Talk to me about your like what's going on in your head, in your body, in your soul when you're, in the groove, right? Not when you're like in the middle of the performance and when it's just automatic and you're flowing. What's going on in your head?
Oh, okay. Um, yeah. First of all, I practice a lot so that I have more and more, channels so I can set
Right.
in the various, genres. So that's kind of my background. And when I play in live, and I try not to uh, think of any specific, my background or a specific genre. Or I try not to focus on, I heard in the past. There's something, kind of my intention is making music, right? But I want to play more from my soul. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
like when I'm creating music, I'm composing music. I just set up my keyboard and play the recording button for the sequencer, and I just keep playing for like 2 hours without thinking anything, and no bars and no tempo. Just keep playing,
Interesting.
and yeah, and thinking nothing. And after that, I stop the sequencer, and then I just cut the moments. Then I just transcribe what I did. And that's how
Wow.
I make songs. There's no intention of creating music in that way. So that is more recent my style of, especially when I'm doing the music therapy thing. But if it's in the video games and like a movie soundtrack, it's totally different. It's very, very, very in a logical way. Like when I'm when I start composing, in, let's say like at 8 a.m. in the morning, then I I set the tempo and tempo changes and the mood, and I set the basic layers and rhythms and bass, and then maybe around the noon, maybe I create the whole like a background rhythm track. Then I add some orchestration over it. Then maybe at 4 p.m., then I just finish the whole songs. Then I do some mixing. Maybe 6 p.m. I do everything what I need, and I know the goals. And maybe I go to the 70% of the goals, but that's good
Hmm.
enough for me. Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. So that is kind of the way I create for the like more business purpose. In other words, it's like commercial music.
Right, right, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's definitely a big difference. I would believe, one is kind of your therapy for your soul, right? For
Mhm,
your heart. You feel so much passion, and it's not work. It's
mhm, mhm.
you
Right.
having fun. And the other is work. Obviously, that's
Yeah.
really interesting. Obviously, I'm not musical, but to understand the way you handle music creation in those different scenarios was
Mhm,
very
mhm.
interesting to know. But talking about creating music for video games, you obviously are a very iconic composer in the video game scene. Predominantly, obviously, having worked on Metal Gear Solid 3 and composing the absolutely wonderful and great Snake Eater song, among others, obviously, others. Um, but I want to start a little bit in the beginning. So you were not a gamer as a child, from what I understand,
Mm.
but
I wasn't a gamer by the way.
you were not.
I was not a
Okay.
game.
Can you talk to me about how did then you transition into the video game industry to become a composer for video games and working
Oh,
with
it's very
Konami?
simple. Yeah, I was at the Berkeley College of Music, and
Hmm.
it was the like 1996, 1997, and that was the time when the computer-based music production was just beginning to the popular. Uh, and I had a chance to learn how to do it. And when I came back to Japan, like video game production was like in the PlayStation 2 development in early 2000, and there were really not many person who knows both like orchestration, live music, and the computer-based music production.
Right.
And before PlayStation 2, there's quite a limited live instruments, but from the PlayStation 2, then we can suddenly we can use like 5.1 audio with like a
Yeah.
cinematic setting. So they really need something like an orchestra sound. So I was kind of in between. So the Konami was looking for composers who can do both.
Hmm.
And they said like, "Well, we can buy all the gears you need." Wow. I didn't really have enough money to buy all the gears because
Yeah.
at the time the gear was very, very expensive, and I
Hmm.
knew that because I was using those in Berkeley, and that those are the gears I cannot even easily buy.
Right.
So that was a great entrance for me.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. So what you're saying, so you finished university and
Yeah.
then you headed back to Japan. And
Mhm.
so the way did you reach out to Konami, or did you, apply for a job there? How do you get in touch?
Oh, actually, the first job after I graduated at the university was working at the movie theater.
Ah, okay.
In
Wow.
the theater chain. And I come
Interesting.
back to, Japan to open up the new theater of AMC, and that was my
Hmm.
first job. But,
Okay.
yeah, in job, I kind of got contact with someone, and let me know, about the Konami was looking for someone, for those kind of thing. Yeah, so that was kind of introduced by the person who
Interesting.
knows about the industry. Yeah, so that was a big.
Interesting. Was that because today game music is more dynamic than it was before.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
have, obviously music that starts and finishes for cutscenes, for example, but there's also dynamic sequences involved in the gameplay itself. Were you
Mm.
involved in some dynamic music as well for MGS3, or was it more sequential music creation?
Oh, both. Yeah.
Both. Wow. So
Yeah.
even back then, oh my God,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. 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 I wrote a lot of cinematic music as well. Yeah.
wow. Well, that's incredible. But did you know about Metal Gear Solid before you started
Yeah, many
working?
people ask about me, and I was kind
Yeah.
of was in a hesitate to reply for the answer. I didn't know about Metal Gear Solid 3,
Got
Metal Gear Solid when I was in Konami. And my first
got it.
mission in Konami was just clear the game. The
Got
first Metal Gear
it.
Solid, and they gave me the PlayStation game, and my first mission was just make it to the end. Of course, I
Mhm.
couldn't do it. And the test version that you never die. So, and I kind of got an experience of game. Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool. Maybe perhaps that was, to your advantage. You were not bewildered by the excitement of working with such a big IP, and obviously the results show, speak for themselves. Talking about working on Metal Gear Solid 3, which is obviously, a very interesting question for me, a very interesting topic for me, and
Mhm.
now with the release of MGS Delta in the horizon, I want to ask you about your involvement with MGS3, and
Mm,
how did you come up with this, theme song, right? Snake Eater. Could you
mm,
talk about some of the processes, not only in terms of creating the tune, but
mm.
also in terms of creating the lyrics as well? I believe you were
Oh, yeah.
involved
Yeah,
with that
yeah.
as well, because they're
Mm.
two different things, and they both collide so seamlessly together.
Oh,
And
thank
then
you.
obviously Cynthia's performance puts like a cherry on top of the cake. But just
Mm.
talk to me about the process of creating that wonderful theme song.
Oh, sure, sure. Yeah. I was, working for MDS2, the previous version as well,
Right.
and that I was kind of, quite used to how Mr. Kojima was designing whole the game, and he started from the whole very detailed script of all the stages. Yeah, very detailed, and he has a solid idea of the MGS3 setting, the time error, and he mentioned a lot about James Bond,
Interesting.
and he was kind of looking for that kind of taste, the overall the game.
Hmm.
And the Rika Muranaka Sick was the main theme, ending theme for the Metal Gear Solid first version. And she actually produced and created some demo for the main theme for the three at the beginning. But Mr. Kojima was not really happy with it at the time, and because he wanted a more epic beginning, and like James Bondish style
Wow.
for the main theme.
Yeah.
And we did some trial. I mean, I ordered some requests to Monica, and we tried to change the song, but just no, we didn't work out well. So I just created myself. I never asked, for Mr. Kojima that you compose the song, but I just created just for him, just
Wow.
as an example of the song it should be, as just a sample. And he really loved it. Then
Wow.
he decided to use my song instead.
That is awesome. So, the obviously the real version of the song involves a live orchestra that you're directing,
Mm-mm.
right?
Oh,
But the
yeah.
sample that you made, was that a digital recreation, or did you also use the orchestra for that?
Well, all these creation, all on desktop creation. Yeah, yeah.
All on
But I
desktop.
used a
Wow.
lot, of course, live orchestra sample,
Interesting.
but basically, desktop. Yeah.
Wow. Weird question. Do you happen to have a copy of that first, sample recording that you provided to Mr. Kojima?
I didn't keep it.
Oh no.
Uh,
Oh, okay. My goodness, that would have been so interesting to hear. Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
but,
So after,
yeah, but when you look at the YouTube, the Snake Eater abstract camouflage, it's a kind of
yeah.
version. Yeah, that is very close
Ah,
to my first approach.
interesting.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay. So I'll take a closer listen to that one
yeah.
later on. That's really, really cool.
I give my life not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else. Crime, it's the way I fly to you. I'm still in a dream, snake eater.
Okay, so you took inspiration from a James Bond theme, right? To incorporate into that. And what
Mhm.
about the lyrics? How did those get about?
Like I said, Mr. Kojima came up from the very detailed script.
Yeah, yeah.
So he wanted some say like a frog as exist, and
Interesting.
like I could kind of feel what the stage is like from his
Hmm.
script. So I put some word intentionally, uh, and so that when I play you and I play and when they listen to the main theme, then they kind of feel what the game is like, and I try to put
Right.
a keyword in it. Yeah.
Interesting. Tell me this: was the game already called Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, or the combination of words Snake Eater was not known when you were creating the lyrics?
Actually, I wasn't quite sure about that. I don't quite remember. Maybe
Okay.
not.
Okay. Okay. So potentially you could have been the one who created the Snake Eater word combo that
Oh,
then
okay.
became.
If that's true, then it's really happy with me. Yeah.
Well, potentially. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You remember, like, when you play the game and then you climb the ladder,
Oh
you know,
yes.
and you hear like a solo vocal of the song,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I
Yeah.
really like that moment. It really,
Yeah.
the song tells the story.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. The song truly is amazing. And I said this to Cynthia as well. I repeat it to you. I have it on my, on my iTunes playlist, and I
Uh,
listen to it very often. And again, I'm not saying this because I'm talking to you who created the song, but this is the honest truth. It's a really, really beautiful piece of music, even if you take it out of the context of a video game.
mm,
So it's truly a fantastic piece of work. But talk to me about working with Cynthia. So I've spoken to her about the first day when she came on. She said that it was quite a quick session. She does
mm.
not remember seeing you because she believes you were in the booth. Talk to me about who was how would you say casting her
Oh,
for the
Rika,
role. Rika
Rika,
Monaka, yeah.
yeah,
And in
Rika.
terms of working with her, did you direct her or?
Actually, I talked with her just briefly
Okay.
'cause, through the booth, and I was talking to Rika, and Rika is
Wow.
talking to her through the
Uh
monitor.
huh.
But she was just so perfect, so perfect from the first take. There's just nothing to say about it. Just
Oh
perfect.
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, no, for sure. I could not agree more with you. Her voice and the way she performed is
Yeah.
absolutely
Mm,
stunning. Quick question about the release of Delta. I know that the Konami released recently a trailer for MGS3 Delta, and
mm,
the theme song, from what we understood, has been remade,
mm,
and it was resung by Cynthia Harrel. She has
mm,
provided her vocals one more time, which is awesome to know.
mm.
Did you have anything to do with that project?
No, I
Ah,
have.
okay, no.
Yeah.
Got okay. That's a shame. It would be nice if you were to create the original tune. All right, that's understood.
Mhm.
Um, talk to me about your perception of the song that you made. I mean, obviously, it had a huge impact on the industry and on the people. But for you, it was probably another day at the job. But looking at the fans and looking at their reactions and at all the covers and recreations of this song and how everybody's listening to it, what are your kind of general thoughts on on the cumulative project that you were a part of as MGS3 and as the theme song Snake Eater?
Oh yeah, like you said, it's just you know this is part of my a lot of work. It's nothing special with me. When I
Right.
the MGS3 main theme song, uh, but after um, I, I hear a lot of reaction from the fans, and or I play the song and the video games live concerts, and a lot of fans really enjoy the song. Yeah, I feel like I'm really glad to be able to get involved in that kind of you know special game, and I had a chance to to provide the song for that. And it's really great experience in my life.
Right. Right. Yeah, I can imagine. It's definitely, I understand that it's just part of your career and a part of what you did. But
Mm,
for us, the gamers, it's, quite a big deal, obviously, and a very
mm.
important game with a very important tune. You're just speaking about, Hideo Kojima and meeting him and working with him. How is he like to work with? Because I know he's a very creative individual, and
Yeah.
different people. I've spoken to different people who work with him, and they all have their own little stories. I was wondering if you could share a story of how it was like to meet him, perhaps how it's like to work together with him.
Oh, I don't really make conversation with him a lot.
Mm.
He's more like an
Okay.
inspirational person. And my boss, Mr. Morauka, and he was like a sound team head, and he was more close to Mr. Kojima, and like, usually they do some discussions.
Okay.
And,
Understood.
I usually read the script and compose the song and put it in the game and a prototype game, and uh, Mr. Kojima plays it, and he gives me some feedback, and it's very few. There are very few experience that Mr. Kojima asked me to retake or remake the song. He was always happy with what I make.
Hmm.
Surprisingly, he
Obviously.
loved my work. But I heard from some, other team members that he was not always like that. If he don't like it, then
Got it.
he yeah, he just don't accept it. And
Yeah.
there's I mean, there it's very hard to break
Yeah.
the the no, no, the kind of
The
his
rules,
limitation.
the
Yeah.
comments. Got it. Okay.
But
Wow.
I
That's very
never felt
interesting.
like that. I never felt like that kind of experience. Mm. I
Okay.
usually create my own, and he was usually happy with it. So
Well, obviously, I believe you're so talented. I've listened to so many of your music, and um, I mean, there again, the work like what you did for MGS2 kind of defines the feel of MGS2 as well, right? All the
mhm.
work you did there. Obviously, MGS3 defines the feel of MGS3, and it's all your wonderful work. So I'm not surprised that Mr. Kojima was happy with your work, but. Are you working on any video games now? I know that you've shifted. I know that we're going to get into that onto the other interesting aspects of your career and what you're doing. But currently, in terms of video games, are you pursuing that career? Are you working on something
Not
new?
really. Only
Mm,
when I'm asked, yeah, I provide some
uh-huh.
songs and some remix, but not specifically. I really don't have time for that. Uh,
Understood. Okay, understood. I know that the latest one was a Contra game, if I'm correct.
oh yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty
yeah.
interesting. Actually, I didn't know. I've listened to it, and it's great. You feel some of the the telltale signs that it's you, and it's really interesting to see that in a Contra game. But okay, understood. That was so very interesting to know some of the intricate details about working
Mhm,
with Mr. Kojima and working on MGS3. But
mhm,
what I'm interested in is that you've witnessed. I mean, you've been in the industry for a while, in the music industry in general,
mhm.
and you have witnessed a shift in music, as we talked about before, over the years. From your perspective, I'm just interested to know kind of um, what is the current landscape of video game music specifically, if I may ask you just about video games. uh, Meaning, how has it changed? How has the importance of music changed? And in your opinion, is it changing in the right direction, or is it changing in the wrong direction?
Um, Honestly, I cannot say if it's good or not because it
Mm,
depends on, what kind of, users are expecting for what kind of games. I don't really know about that very recently, so I'm not sure if I should not answer in the right way. But
hmm.
uh, what I feel is, like I said, uh, the content itself becomes more like shorter and more higher tension, so that uh, uh, Mm, especially for the, like, smartphone game, it
Right.
really, requires first, approach, right?
Yeah.
First,
Yeah.
speed and higher tension. Um, uh, uh, Honestly, I don't really agree with that kind of approach. Um, there is no space and that kind of tension or speed for your soul, to open up. Mm, um and there was some power for that kind of music, that kind of rushing music, or more energy, the energy music. um they have power to draw the people to that direction, uh, and that's why they love the games. But
Yeah.
sometimes they lose their real deep inside, uh, or sometimes they don't even need to look at their own deep inside, and then they can, you know, do some more excitement within the game.
Right.
That's actually not good. Uh, and there should be some games, what that really gives you a more, you know, good approach. But, I just
Yeah.
don't know those games. But
Right.
in general, I feel that way.
Yeah, I understand. I understand your point. There definitely are games that take that approach, the one that you said, obviously,
Mm,
but we do see, more and more it striving to that alternate approach that you were talking about.
mm,
But what would your opinion be in terms of the importance of music and interactive medium in general? I asked this question to a few composers, and I think it makes perfect sense to kind of get an idea or a sense of what composers generally think of music itself, of the medium that they're doing. So, in terms of pushing the story, providing the feel,
mm.
and in general, actually marketing the game. What are your thoughts on the importance of music for video games or for interactive media?
Importance of games. I mean, the importance of music, right?
Music, yeah.
Yeah. In terms of marketing, it's very easy, to evaluate how important the music is because that really attract their ears, people's ears, right? Uh, and if it's more attention, then it's definitely, people watch more, more easily, and that really makes money out of it. That's for sure. And you can also add the ups and down and tension, by adding some elements in music. So that
Yeah.
is also a very important thing in the video games. That's for sure. But mm, there can be some moments that nothing happens and you don't do anything, but the music just tells you something and you feel it. That
Hmm.
kind of moment can be also possible, right? Uh, and
Definitely.
yeah, if there is something that music can provide that kind of experience in the game, that would be wonderful.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right. Obviously, games are very different today. There are some games where music does not have any importance whatsoever. But I think it's just the evolution of gaming as an industry in general. I think there's just more games available. Some require a certain level of music or no music, and others require something grand or as grand as what, for example, you have done with the orchestra and whatnot. But generally speaking, yeah, it does make sense that music does push the story the story forward. But I'd like to shift a little bit, talking about therapeutic music.
Yeah,
I
sure.
believe that's a very important part of your life, or it became a very important part of your life after certain events, after the earthquake and after the
Yeah, yeah,
tsunami. You wrote some of your thoughts about that. That this shifted your opinion
yeah.
towards music, and um, let me start off by asking you about the Rinshu.
Oh, thank
I
you.
remember, yeah, it's very interesting. I remember speaking to Jayson about it, and we spoke there briefly. I've researched about it. I found your website, and this apparatus, it looks wonderful. And from what
Thank
I
you.
understand, it's a very magical piece of equipment. So if you may open up about that project, please.
Oh, sure, sure. Yeah. The most beginning part of the development reach was I had a chance to see the harp therapy at the hospice,
Hmm.
and the hospice is just stay uh, by the bedside of the dying patient, and just play music along with the breathe and tempo with the I mean tempo with the breathing, and just go with the patient. It's never like, well, I'm gonna heal you, or I'm gonna provide you something to make you comfortable. It's never like that. Always, uh, the main person is the patient, and this is just the path of the soul,
Oh my
right?
God! Wow. Hmm.
And that was just wonderful. And I felt like the soul of the patient now become ready for the leaving the body, and become more peaceful and last moment. And really felt that,
Wow.
and I thought that was wonderful, because in music industry, I was always doing like, well, I'm going to provide something, something special for the client, or I'm going to provide something to heal the people. It's like the main person is me. I
Yeah.
think like, I make this, but that was just the opposite side. The
Right.
opposite is the main person was just the person in front of her. So that was just wonderful.
Wow.
And I wanted to do something same thing with the music, and I think that is the way the music should be. I thought like that. But the problem is how therapists can only go to some patients, like a 90% of hospice in United States is just at the home based, and the hub therapists cannot go to every home in the play. So I was thinking of some device to do almost the same thing at the patient's house or some nursing homes, even if the health therapist cannot come. They provide the peaceful music, and um, and just provide some comfort through the sound, not only through the just the music, through the sound that people cannot even hear from the eardrum, but people can catch as a vibration, that includes
Wow.
very high frequencies, and the Rinshu can provide that kind of frequencies as a vibration. And we have a very solid scientific evidence that give the people the more comfort and improve sleep quality. And yeah,
Wow.
so in Japan, a lot of hospice and hospitals, nursing homes, and uh, patient care need some care at the home
Yeah.
at homes,
Hmm.
and they actually using it. Yeah.
Wow. That is really incredible. Can you talk about, just as a first kind of question, can you talk about how the apparatus works? If you may, because I didn't really understand how the frequencies work and where does the sound come from, actually.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Um, the usually a loudspeaker is like a circle cone, right?
Hmm.
And there's some magnets, and they're just going back and forth, and,
Right.
and make a like air pushing, and that
Yeah.
is the way the sound is produced by the speaker. But acoustic instrument is never like that. Uh, you know, uh, when you look at the guitar strings, like guitar strings just go like more bent. It's like this way, and make some vibration, right? And not like a pushing the air. It's more like vibrating the much smaller elements in the air, and that actually uh, uh, yeah, goes like water drop and big sea, and if you make the water drop, then it goes like a circle and go, and 360 degrees. It's never like a
Wow.
single degrees. That's why, when you go to the big concert hall and play, play the violins, then you never use a microphone, but you can actually provide quite loud sound at the end of the hall. That is because the violin makes the vibration, and that vibration actually goes much, much far.
Interesting.
And yeah, it's quite different from loudspeakers. Even if in the concert hall, when you use the loudspeakers, you have to um, add quite a big amount of voltage to make it happen. This
Right.
with same effect as the violin. It's a way of the sound waveform is different, and
Wow.
and and our Rinshu is using a curved wood, like a curved, very curved, like curved. Oh, sorry. So it's a
No worry.
curved wood, so
Right.
that it vibrates, and it's almost like a string of the a strings.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
And yeah.
that creates a frequencies that we cannot even hear, and
Wow.
also that transmits to the very far.
Hmm.
You cannot do with a regular loudspeaker. Yeah, even the speaker says the speaker can produce some high frequencies up to like uh like 80K or something.
Hmm.
But when you set the microphone and stay like 1 meter away, no like high frequencies cannot you know be transmitted.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But is it connected to a music source, like to a phone or?
Well, it's actually both. It's connected to how you perform the music and how you set the microphone and how you
Hmm.
do the mixing
Wow.
and how you use the like output device. It's all the combination. So you have to check all the process of performing and recording and mixing and producing the sound. They have to
Wow.
control everything to make that effect happen. That's
Right.
what we did in the Rinshu. So
That's amazing.
all the song included in Rinshu is composed by me and recorded by me, uh, and and the output is a special curved wood. So it's all
Okay.
controlled so that we
Hmm.
actually make that purpose.
Wow. Okay. So the songs are already inputted inside the device.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What an incredible piece of technology and what an incredible apparatus. And you're working. How long did it take to create it? I mean, it's something that didn't exist before.
Oh,
You
actually,
have
I did
created.
it all. That's for only for that purpose. So I spent. Well, I started recording from like 2008, and our first release of Rinshu was 2014 for 6
Oh
years.
my God. Wow.
And I
Whoa,
recorded
whoa, whoa.
300 songs just for that purpose.
Wow. That's incredible. And so how long did it take you to, actually create it, right? I mean, you need to manufacture it. You needed to figure out how the whole thing works scientifically.
Mhm.
You need to figure out that you wanted it to be in the shape of a yacht. Did you have
Yeah.
any other shapes before? If you could dive into that, into the some of the most interesting bits and pieces of the whole project in the 6 years.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Most interesting, yeah. I mean, a lot of them, but the most interesting part was when I was at the yacht show.
Mm-hmm.
I went to where Newport, maybe, like a yacht exhibition.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I brought my Rinshu there, and I thought some people who likes yacht will buy it, but the reaction was really bad. And I was so surprised, the people really love the yacht was they love the yacht, but they like their own. They think they're beautiful. I mean, not like the effect of Rinshu. I mean, uh, the Rinshu itself is quite expensive, and it's never be affordable. So I thought, some people who own a yacht can buy, but that was not true. And that really gave me an insight that this is not for that purpose. This is really
Mm-hmm.
for the people who really needs it.
Yeah.
Uh, Yeah, and really, this is for this artist's soul, you know, and 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 after the experience, I decided to provide the Rinshu the first 3 months for free, especially for the patients who uh, for are sentenced for a few months life, or family members who need really cares at the last moment. I provided reading for free for 3 months, and I gave a lot of people, and I tested in a lot of places. And right now, still, it's going on. As some people ask me, my family is like that, and I want to use Rinshu, and then I just bring it, and the patient would die. Of course. But after that, the Rinshu comes back. Then I got some next request, and the Rinshu do some repair and goes to some
Wow.
next patient, and just going. So it really works.
Wow. 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 I mean, that's an incredible cause, a very noble cause. To kind of know that people leave this world with your music, with the thoughts, with your music calming them down and making them feel comfortable is, I believe, something very special. And it's a bit of a difficult subject to talk about, but I was just very interested in
Right.
what it was and how it helps and the whole project. And now I have a clearer understanding. And well, it's a big. So there was a pretty big shift that happened in your understanding of music actually after
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the tragic events.
Right.
Continue to talk about music as a therapy. I read in an interview you mentioned that music can also heal you. For example, sleeping. Right? We
Yeah,
spoke about this in the beginning of the conversation. The prescription for sleep albums
yeah,
that you have created, and what you said is that if the music is correct, if the music is done right, and if you listen to it, perhaps I'm rephrasing actually. Perhaps the music can take place of the pills that you take in order to
mhm,
go to sleep, and that's better. So you could listen to the music, relax yourself if everything is done correctly, and and fall asleep. And so what you did together with Jayson is you created a bunch of different albums called Prescription to Sleep for
oh yeah,
sleep,
yeah.
and some of them are based on video game music, and some of them are based on other stuff. Could you talk about that philosophy to me, please? About the prescription for sleep. How did that come about? And how can actually music help you fall asleep, help you relax, and what should be done perhaps by the person to be able to get into this mood where listening to a song can substitute taking, for example, melatonin at night or something like that.
Oh, okay. Um, yeah, first of all, the prescription for sleep project started from the iPhone app, and it
Yeah.
was when was it? That 2008, 2009, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And um, there were not many iPhone apps specializing for sleep or health, and
It's just when the iPhone came out, basically
oh
2007.
yeah, 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 yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, obviously they were nothing.
First
Wow.
app of those the healthcare
Wow.
general. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And and we included, I think, 3 or 4 songs of, some specific recorded for that purpose, and with 24-bit 96K. So hopefully, it's not Rinshu, but, uh, it's more, easy, usable, and affordable version. Then, we actually created as an app, and and it was really successful, and hit the number 1 app in Japan.
Wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
and it sold really well. It sold really well. So that was the kind of kickstart of prescription
Wow.
sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Then Jason thought, well, we can actually utilize it for the video games as well, because when you play the video games and it really wakes you up,
Yeah.
and the problem is how they actually have a good sleep after that. If the player can enjoy the music that they always listen in the game, but in a very comfortable arrangement, relaxing arrangement, then that may be good for them to, get some sleep after the game performance. So that was kind of the beginning of the idea. Yeah, and it really worked well because even for the um, older people, like in the nursing homes, when I go there, and then when we play the music, I usually pick up the songs that they really they were used to in the young ages, right? And by
Interesting.
listening to those uh, their songs of their old memory with it,
Right.
then they really feel comfortable and they feel like home. That really gives them a lot of comfort. And then we experience that. It's the same thing as in the video games. Right now, like a video game players is like in maybe like from age of 20 to maybe age of 50 or something. But after 10 years, they get like 60. Maybe after 20 years, they get 70. Then, who knows, those, game music can be relaxing music at the nursing home. that,
Interesting.
that may
Wow.
happen. So, yeah, that kind of concept.
Wow. And that's actually, very interesting. I didn't know that the app was so doing so well uh when it came out. That's great to know. But did you get any reactions from gamers from the prescription for sleep?
Oh, not really gamer.
Oh, okay.
Mostly
So
from yeah. I
anybody.
never actually did some promotion for the game industry.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
um, yeah, only more people who had some sleep problems. Uh, some people actually gave me a reaction of, "Well, we really worked with this app because we could have some good sleep." And some people sent me some kind of reactions.
Interesting. And would you happen to know if what would be the right, mindset or the right, let's say, a hierarchy of things to do prior to listening to one of your albums for sleeping in order to kind of get your body to a state where it's ready to fall asleep and listen to music? Would you happen to know some advice for that? Or
Well, um,
since you've done prescription for sleep music, I thought I would ask you.
well, uh, it's really up to the the listeners.
Mm.
You know, some people can even get fall asleep with the heavy rock music.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the thing is, if they feel comfort with the music or not, I think that is key. Some people can even get sleep with the chip tunes. If they really get used to the music, then that would be their, the nursery song. So same idea. Some songs that we include in the prescription for sleep albums, some are quite up tempo, and it can never be a sleeping song. But for some players who really enjoy some game, that is kind of very that those songs give them more like
Hmm.
comfort and like a home-like feeling. I think that is good enough. And
Right.
and, and after the fast-paced song, then there are always very slow songs. So
Yeah.
then you may be able to get some sleep, or
Right.
even if they cannot sleep, at least they can feel more relaxed. Uh,
Hmm.
I think that is good enough.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I have to say that the songs for me, when I was introduced to them by Jayson, actually I did some research for our episode. I found a few songs, and then Jayson kind of directed me a bit more deeper towards the albums. And I started really listening to them and using them while working. They really calm me down, help me focus.
Mhm.
And prior to that, I didn't have a good playlist for working. I heard somebody tell me that brown music
Mm.
is good for you, and I tried it, and it gets the job done. But it was a bit hectic after you take the earphones out. It was a bit hectic. But your music kind of really lets me focus and lets me feel like there's no music playing, whereas my brain is getting stimulated by the calm music that you're playing. Um, and I believe that's your band, right? So Gentle Love,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
You're doing that together in your band. So you're the a person in charge, let's say, or the saxophonist, right? Who's playing on the
Yeah.
saxophone, and you
Yeah.
have I'm terribly sorry, I'm forgetting the name of your band member.
Ayaki, who's playing piano.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the piano player. Could you talk about your corporation, your friendship, and how did you form Gentle Love, if you may?
Okay. Yeah, we started out. I think from 2012. We had a recording session of some Namco remix album or something. And
Mm-hmm.
I called him up because I knew him because he was a Berkeley graduate, and I knew him, and I called him at the recording session, and he was just so amazing, and and after that we got together and we did some session, and what I liked with him is he can do very good classic piano, also very like advanced jazz, and the both direction. And he's really uh, he is a great piano player, and not only that, like we can communicate with soul without word.
Right,
Uh,
right,
uh,
right,
uh,
right.
that's not something when we experience in with other
Mm-hmm.
players, and
Mm-hmm.
even without talking anything, and we just share. Sometimes we just share the photo, or sometimes we share the experience of the, let's say, they're going up to the mountains and see some sceneries, and we kind of talk about that. And
Yeah,
well, from this song, when we want to make some feeling like, we're going up to the mountain and then looking at the sun, the world, and how we feel. That kind of the feeling is what we are looking at in the recording, and then we talk like that. We
interesting.
never talk about the arrangement, and we just
Wow.
go to the recording.
Well, that's a
And
perfect, I think, perfect combination,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
For
yeah,
a band, for working with, but he truly, really, really talented piano player. Listen to, and I've saw a few videos actually,
mm,
also
mm,
online of you performing really wonderful work.
mm.
So I just wanted to know exactly how that came about, and that's really, really cool. Again, anybody listening, the music is for free, from what I understand, on YouTube, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's there are many playlists, so they'll be linked in the description.
Mm,
Um, or if you want to search, you have to just write "prescription for sleep."
yeah, yeah,
There's lullaby music and whatnot, but if you write "prescription for sleep," Norihiko Hibino,
yeah, yeah.
you will find them. But again, thank you for those albums. They're very, very interesting and very
Thank you.
calming. Another topic that I would like to touch upon is again, Jayson mentioned that, and it's so interesting for me. The different facets of your career. So you're a musician. You also are in hospice care, you could say, with therapeutic
Yeah,
music.
yeah.
You're in a band as well,
Mm.
and you're actually creating an elementary school. Are you
Oh
already
yeah, yeah,
creating
right now, yeah, I'm running a nursery, actually, a kids nursery.
a kids nursery?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
can you
yeah.
tell me about this? How did that come about, and what is this
Yeah,
nursery? It's such a wonderful, wonderful thing to do.
I never thought about, and I'm running a kids nursery in my career.
Right.
Yeah, but one thing, maybe if I think back of my career, I started my uh, some voiceover project of toys. The Fisher Price toy company.
Fish
We
price, yeah.
do almost all Fisher Price lineup into Japanese language, and our
Mm,
company is a localization from 2008. So I had a chance to get to know about like kids learning process, and how they learn languages, and how they get older, and doing and learning some skills. And I have two daughters, and 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 our daughters went to some kindergarten, but they kind of financially ran out, and they had to close out their kindergarten.
oh man,
But it's
okay.
very good education, and the teachers were very sad, and because they had no idea what to do the next, and no, they kind of lose job, and the kids kind of have hard time where to go, and I decided to apply some grants for the government to create a new kindergarten, and I got it. So I suddenly I became owner of the kindergartens to succeed the whole project. So
Oh
I
my
hired
God.
all the teachers and I just had
Wow.
all the kids, and that was
My
beginning.
God.
And it was just by chance. I was just a parents of the kid in the nursery,
Yeah.
but there were no one else who can actually do anything with the close time or the nursery. So I was kind of the one to just help that. And
That
then
is incredible.
it became after 5 years, it gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And in the beginning of this year, we started at a new, bigger nursery, another nursery.
Wow.
And we started
Wow.
also another facility that helps some kids with some ADHD or yeah, you know, some other troubles. And
Wow.
we have a special staff who care for that. And that actually incorporate with the kids nursery, and we do very well. So
That's incredible. Oh
yeah,
my goodness. Like really, really, truly, really incredible. It's such a, you know, entrepreneurship wise, that's such a
yeah.
risky endeavor. It's a very deep endeavor.
Mm.
You're working with children, you're working with teachers, and you're getting grants, and you need a facility. Wow.
Yeah, a
So,
lot of work.
well, yeah, a lot of work. I mean, I would imagine, I might be wrong, but I would imagine now you have a team of people that would help you
Oh yeah, we have like the 42 staff right now.
for you to staff. Oh my God.
Yeah, so
But you
yeah.
started it by yourself, everything alone by
Oh yeah,
yourself,
yeah,
huh?
yeah, yeah.
Oh my
Everything
God.
by
Oh my
myself. Yeah.
goodness. Oh my goodness. I wish, I mean, you know, for example, I have a son, he's 3 years old,
Mhm.
and he's gonna, obviously go to school sometime soon and whatnot. And so very important to me as well, all these nurseries and the way they study and the teachers. But that's me being responsible for my kid, and I'm already very nervous. You have two daughters. I'm sure that you're extremely responsible for them and very nervous,
Yeah.
in terms of what they do. But now you have a whole family of children in the
Yeah,
nurseries
yeah, yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
you're responsible for.
Yeah, but
Wow,
the
what a
whole
noble!
experience just, connects together,
That's
I
amazing.
play piano every morning for the kids.
Really?
Yeah, I
So
play
you go to the nurse? Oh my God, they're so
oh
lucky
yeah,
kids.
every day, and I play the piano, and when I play the piano, the kids just come around, and that becomes the circle,
Oh my
and that is the
God.
start of the day.
Oh my God, that is
Yeah,
awesome. Well, it's so honorable of you, and noble of you, I think, to actually do that for the children out of your busy schedule every single day to be there to play some piano. And I
yeah.
think that's so beneficial for the children
Oh
to
yeah.
listen to you play.
Mm.
Wow. That would
Yeah.
be. Is there any footage of that? No, right? We could see
Um,
any marketing material, maybe.
well, I don't really then the post the kids face. We cannot do
Of course, yeah. The
something. I
kids'
don't really
faces, no,
have
yeah.
footage for
Okay,
that. But
okay,
we do
okay.
a lot of concerts in the nursery, and I play
Mm-hmm.
saxophone. And the funny thing is, after the performance, the kids take up some block and get together, and they make the saxophone with
Yeah,
the
right. Oh my
block.
God,
And then
that's awesome.
they start some concert with like a fake saxophone and a fake
That's awesome.
piano, and
Wow.
it's just so fun, to look at the kids that do some creativity and they make instrument and make some experiments with it. It's just amazing.
So that's a project that's been around for 5 years already.
Yeah, yeah, now in the six years. Yeah,
In the sixth year. Wow.
yeah.
And um, I mean, pardon such a direct question, but uh, I understand that making money, for example, for nurseries and whatnot, it's a bit of a difficult thing. Have you managed to break even or past that point in the
Oh,
business?
I'm already past the point. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Now
Incredible.
now is the period that we are actually becoming a more social based
Mm-hmm.
organization, so that we
Wow.
don't get charged for tax. Uh,
Okay, cool.
so
Oh my goodness.
yeah, so
Wow.
the things are getting better and better.
That is
Yeah.
absolutely incredible. Wow, absolutely, really, really incredible. Noriko, are you, Ibino-san, excuse me, are you involved with, some other interesting projects perhaps that you would like to share?
Yeah, there's some others, but it's just too many. I do some lessons for the kids, some kid lessons for the adults, uh,
Mm.
and I do some consultation for the kids who cannot go to school. Um, yeah, and
Wow.
yeah, some students, I mean, students go to some music college, but they kind of lost way to do after graduate. So I do
Right.
some a clinic or some lecture for them. That kind of my project.
Oh my
So
goodness. That's so
yeah, it's
interesting.
really wide variety of
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow, it's incredible that you find the time to do all of that. And it's really incredible to see that your music has, so that your career has shifted so broadly.
oh yeah,
And it still connects to music. So it's a very broad, so there's a nursery, there's hospice care, some teaching, as you said, maybe some composing, but it's all revolved around the center, the central point of music, of
yes,
composing, and
yeah.
of the importance of music. Ibino-san, it was such a pleasure to talk to you. It was
My
truly
pleasure.
an honor and a privilege to have you on the show. I'm so grateful
Thank
that I
you.
had the opportunity to do so. I had a wonderful conversation,
Oh, wonderful.
and it was, very insightful, very interesting, and I'm sure many people can learn a lot about it. I could speak to you more and more, but time is always limited. So thank you so very much for your time for
Thank
this
you so much.
conversation, and it was an honor and a privilege once again. Thank you.
Thank you so much.